getting fired was the best thing that ever happened to me. Now, did I think that at the time? Absolutely not. I was struggling. I was like, yo, this is a major issue. But let me give you the quick backstory on, and this is, I got fired on multiple occasions. Let me not act like it was just crazy that everywhere I went and got fired, because that wasn't the case. But this was the first time I actually kept a job for a few years. And when I got fired, it was kind of devastating at the moment, because I didn't know what to do next. So I was an insulator. You know, we've discussed this on this channel a few times. My first real job in construction, I was an insulator, and I'd been there 4 years. I was one of them guys that was gonna work. But even then, me and the guy who was the boss of the place, we bumped heads, and I'll talk about that later, man, because getting used to an atmosphere of construction can be difficult sometimes, because it's not always the nicest place, or it's the nicest people all the time. But look what happened. My truck broke down, so I came back. I had like 2 or 3 work orders that didn't get done, but I came back and the mechanic was next door, like, you know, in the same parking lot. We shared a parking lot with the mechanic. So I dropped it off and I left. Next day I came into work. Yeah! When I went into the office, it was a shouting match. We went back and forth. And in the end, I think he knew he was kind of wrong, but he was like, you know what, we gotta lay people off anyway, because, you know, we're slow. So there's nothing I could really say to that, because at least then I could go get some unemployment. So when I left that day, I was devastated, because it was the first time that I'd ever lost a job or something like that, or left a job where I didn't have another job already. I always kept to that rule, you know, don't leave unless you got something else lined up. The first time I ever had just no job. I'm just out in the world naked. And the little bit of money you get from unemployment, I mean, I think at the time they maxed you out at like $400, or no, was it $330? Might have been like $330 a week. So that wasn't like it was gonna take care of my bills or something. So I was stuck, man. But in the end, like now, when I look back, it's like one of the best things that ever happened, because it changed me. It changed me, man. It changed the way I thought about a whole lot of things, man. So let's get into it. One thing it did for me was it took away my, you know, fantasy land thinking that there was something secure about having a job, you know. Job and security should never be put together, you know. I mean, the phrase job security is a complete misnomer, right? It's not true. It just doesn't even make sense. Or at least, at best, it's an oxymoron, right? Like organized confusion or beautiful struggle or something like that. And coming to that realization, it was good and bad, you know, because part of it, so I'm going into new employment already on defense, like, they like, look, I don't know what they're trying to do, but I'm gonna be here as long as I need to be here. And that's that. So if they're trying to do something shady, I'm gonna pick it up. I'm watching you, and I'm watching you. I'm watching all y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all ain't plotting on me. You ain't getting me out of here until I'm ready to go. It did give me the understanding that just because I got employed at this job doesn't mean I can just rest and this is it. And I can kick my feet up and I'll be here for the next 20 years. It gave me that drive, man, that you better go find something. You got to get something, because this ain't it. This could be going tomorrow. And I always kept that with me, man, always. And then I kind of had an awakening that, you know, and realized I was stuck. You know, I was really stuck. I was trapped, double trapped, triple trapped. And it was, I mean, it was almost literally triple trapped, because it's about 3 ways. There's a few ways I could think of how I was stuck. But the first way was that there was no future in the job. You know, I was 23. Man, I'd be working with guys that were 35, and at the time they were the older guys, right? And I talked to them, they'd be like, man, we did a crawl space yesterday, woke up, my whole body hurt.
Oh, my neck, my back, my neck and my back, oh.
And I was like, goodness, you 35, your whole body hurt already? So I had in my mind, I can't do this forever, but what are you gonna do? Like, you know, like a lot of the guys that got older in the business ended up, you know, either going to work for another company, maybe being a foreman, and that's you know, just driving around and checking other people's jobs all day, or being a salesman, and a couple one or two came managers at a company, but it's all installation. Like I didn't have that desire. I didn't want to do that with my life. So when I say I was stuck, there was nowhere to go up. Another way I was stuck was that the money. What's the money? When I was working there, man, like, okay, Most of the jobs I had up until that point were paying $7 here, 10, some even $10, $11. I worked at a bank that was paying like $11 an hour. And that was good. Remember, we're talking about late 90s. So $11 an hour was pretty good for, for somebody with no experience or nothing like that. I did the installation, I was making 40, but usually between 40, 50,000 a year. I mean, where was I gonna go and replace that income? And by then, I lived on my own, I had a car, nothing expensive, but I had a car payment, I had a daughter, I just had things to pay for. So it was like, how can I leave now? I've trapped myself, and I'm not putting on anybody else. Like, I got myself stuck here, but where was I gonna go? Most of the places I was gonna go was gonna be a decrease in pay, or I was gonna go to another installation company to do what? Like the same thing I was doing already, which had no future, right? And I'm not knocking people who do installation, whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, we know what it is. We know what it is. But the final way that I knew I was stuck, the absolute worst thing is the realization that you have no skill. That has to be like the worst, because if you don't have a skill, and I don't mean like something like you gotta be able to, do crown molding or something like that. As cool as that is, that's something I learned how to do. But there's plenty of skills out here that have nothing to do with that. I don't care if you're in the medical profession and in education, there's all sorts of skills, but when you realize you don't have one, you have no control over anything in your life.
Let me hear you say, that ain't right.
That is one reason why I go so hard on this channel, man. I didn't have a skill. What life is like if you don't have a skill. It's already enough. You got a lot of invisible hands already controlling things that are going on around you or whatever, right? But in your personal life, like right now, me today, I'm free. There ain't no shackles on me. I can walk right up these stairs and go out the door and just choose to do what I want for the day, right? It's up to me. But if you don't have a skill, it ain't your choice anymore. You're at the mercy of whoever will give you a job, which is one of the reasons why we got a lot of adults working fast food now, because they don't have skills, right? I mean, I don't want to pile on people who do rideshare or food delivery and stuff like that, but it's to me, even that's an illusion of like being an independent contractor. It's an illusion of being a freedom. Like, you're not free. You got to do it for hours and hours. The only way you're free is that you get to choose the hours that you work, but you don't get to choose how much you make. When you do, you can, not do this job and not do that one, but you don't get to set the rates. You don't get to decide the rates for yourself, and that's what happens when you don't have a skill. You have no say in the matter. Number two, you're at the mercy of someone giving you a job. A lot of times when you don't have a skill, you're just going and saying, hey, sir, I work hard. I'll do whatever I have to do, but can you please hire me and I'll show you. This is one thing I like about being an independent contractor, because, when I go do work for somebody, it's like we're going into a partnership. I set the rate. They decide if they think I'm worth that much, but I set the rates on how much I think I'm worth. And then we can go from there. If you want me to do it, or if I've shown you enough, you looked at my back catalog of work and pictures and other people's testimonies, and you think I'm worthy of making that much money, then you'll pay me. Or if you think your job is that I'm the guy that you want to do it, then that's the transaction. It's not me saying like, please hire me because, I need to, feed my family. It's no, I have some control. And even more than that, if a job, it's the worst thing when you're seeing these people that's been working for 20 years, 25 years, and then they get laid off, and then they can't find a job. It's just like, and the skill that they have doesn't really matter anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's not helping them anymore. This is one of the reasons why I go so hard on having a skill, and learning and being able to sharpen your mind. It's just like, it's so important. So, that might have been the biggest part of it, was getting fired, realizing I didn't have a skill, and then I was at the mercy of everybody. I was going to job interview after job interview after I lost that job. And some jobs, it got to the point when I was like, is this all I have left? Like, it's like I'm going to apply for jobs in the laundry room at the hospital. Like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? I mean, somebody got to do it. Somebody has to do it. And much respect to whoever's doing that job. But it's like, that's what it came to. It was like, I got to do that. I went for a job with a security job at a casino, and they had horses there, right? They did horse racing, and they actually offered me a job as the barn guard, which was just, you know, they said when the horses came to the gate, you open the gate and let the horses in. And I was like, are you serious? I'm like the horse cop? You need a skill, man. And of course, we're gonna continue to talk about it on this channel because I can't say it enough of how you need a skill, all right? I don't care if you have a degree. I don't care what you have. You need something you can do. I know what, the one thing I do know, I know that if I had a job today and I got fired today, I'll be able to pay my bills still because I have something I can offer that, you know, people need. And everybody needs something they could do. So that was a major one right there. Now though, when you take all these things and put them together, the greatest thing happened. It literally changed the trajectory of my life. The way that I thought about work and education and training and skills and just everything, like I said, job security, it changed me like to this day. I never want to be in a position where the job has all the power. They have all the power in the world. So, you know, they can lay me off tomorrow and they can decide if I'm gonna be able to pay my mortgage or not. That, which led me to being self-employed, right? But it also led me to college with the push, you know, my wife kind of pushed me to, you know, to head in that direction. I even had thoughts before that though. I was gonna hit the heavy equipment operation, like just stuff where I could go and find work because I had a skill. Not that I was like, you know, well, I'm a good worker and, you know, I'm fast and I'm a fast learner. I didn't know, none of that, no. So this is what I can do. This is how I can grow your business or, you know, eventually and grow my own, which is of course what ended up happening. It just changed my entire mindset. You know, that whole, you know, they call it the paradigm shift. I went to college on a quest for not just knowledge, but education. So maybe if I had a piece of paper that said, hey, this guy's qualified for this, I'd always be able to find employment. That might not have been realistic, but it was the goal. You know, I trained myself on certain skills. Even when I wasn't working a job that did that. Like I said, what I do now, I never had a job doing any of the stuff that I do now. You know, training, even training my mind. I read a lot of books. You know, I started to just immerse myself in just different kinds of ideas and thoughts and everything from real estate to, like I said, to construction, to engineering, to math. I was just really immersed in just gaining of knowledge so that, I don't know, no matter what direction I went, I feel like I had something to offer. And I'm telling you, I ended up working in civil engineering for years and years and years after I went to college, but I was also a math major, but I also worked, I just did a lot, man, but because of that paradigm shift. And that paradigm shift is also, I'm about to do a series about it. And I think it's gonna be a very, very enlightening thing, eye-opening for people that may not realize or maybe think they're stuck and they have no way out. Man, you got a way out. But your trap is in here, man. It ain't out here, you're not trapped. I'm free as a bird, man. I ain't got no cuffs, there's no gates, there's nothing holding me back. But this, man, your mind is shackled up. Your mind is in shackles. So you're gonna have to be able to free that, and there are just opportunities out here. They're not all, you don't have to do what I do, but there are opportunities for you to, get out of this thing. But sometimes it takes something drastic to happen. It took me to get fired. And the crazy thing is, I got fired on multiple occasions. I mean, like, it wasn't like that was the first time I ever got fired. But that firing was different because I was dedicated. And I spent years somewhere. First time I spent years at a place, and then you could just come in and then just, like that, it's gone. So let me know in the comments, man, what you think. Was there something that happened to you that just changed your mentality about how you approach work, or maybe made you start a business, or just something that made you know that you had to go out here and get it, that you had to go out here and put in this work because nothing was going to be handed to you? Let me know, man. Let us know. We all need to have the discussion. So, Daryl, also known as a finisher, stay safe, be blessed, and remember, if the trades don't work, nothing else does.